Welcome everybody to a look at a new Warner Brothers Archive Collection release, and it is 1958's Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. So this is directed by Nathan H. Duran, although he was credited as Nathan Hertz for this film, and he also directed the likes of The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, 20 Million Miles to Earth, First Men in the Moon. Those three were also done in conjunction with the likes of Ray Harryhausen. He also moves on, did also the likes of The Deadly Mantis, Jack the Giant Killer, and The Black Castle. So this is a science fiction horror film clocking in at 65 minutes long. Had a budget of only $88,000, but had a box office return of $480,000, so it's quite a big success. Stars Alison Hayes, who was in the likes of The Zombies of Mara Tau and Chicago Syndicate, which is actually a really rather excellent film noir. So, when an abused wife grows to giant size because of an alien encounter and an aborted murder attempt, she goes after her cheating husband with revenge on her mind. So, although this lacks the budget to make the most of its premise, which quite frankly results in some rather laughable special effects in the kind of same vein as Burt I. Gordon, who typically superimposed a person or a creature and then enlarged them and then just slapped it onto the film that he'd done in live action. And yeah, didn't always work, and that's why I don't particularly like his films. And those aspects to this certainly are the weakest part of this film. But that said, this is still an overall entertaining and engrossing film that keeps the pacing tight and doesn't outstay its welcome. The cast is also good. There are some funny moments, whether they be intentional or not. The score is decent, it features some okay miniatures, and the theme of female empowerment was certainly ahead of its time. As yeah, this is 1958. This is well before the swinging 60s and Roe versus Wade and whatnot. So yeah, it certainly has that element of female empowerment to it that would obviously and rightfully gain traction in the 60s. And yeah, we've also got a couple of extras on this. So we've got commentary by Yvette Vickers, who plays the third lead in this film, and film historian Tom Weaver. And we also have the theatrical trailer on this as well. So yeah, no other extras though in terms of the physical aspects of the film. This is why these Warner Brother Archive Collection releases, even though I've enjoyed plenty of their films from 2023, for instance, didn't make it into my top 10 favorite film releases of 2023. So yeah, that's the only big reason that it's keeping these films back, as far as I'm concerned, and no doubt is what's keeping it back in terms of other collectors and whatnot talking about these films, because yeah, at the end of the day they are on just a cheap Blu-ray disc. Although the transfer itself looks decent enough, especially for what is now nearly 70-year-old film. It's just a shame that yeah, there's nothing extra physical really here. Although I'm sure the commentary by one of the cast and the film historian is actually pretty good. Usually is with as an extra for these kind of films. So yeah, this is released alongside three other efforts for January 1st, and they were Adventures of Don Juan, Escape from Fort Bravo, and Fury. So yeah, they're a little bit higher in terms of production and in terms of quality of cast, but this is still a perfectly fine effort as far as 1950s sci-fi efforts go. I certainly rank it alongside the likes of The Deadly Mantis from the same director as this, although it's far weaker than, say, 20 Million Miles to Earth and, First Men on the Moon, or Them, or Tarantula, or what else have we got? The likes of, I'd say it's better than The Colossus of New York, though, which could also rank this alongside of, giant person or creature or whatever attacking a certain place. But yeah, it's nowhere near as good as something else like the Incredible Shrinking Man, which is obviously the opposite to this, getting smaller rather than bigger. But yeah, still a perfectly decent effort. 3 out of 5 as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, it's well worth watching if you're into these kind of 50s low budget kind of campy sci-fi horror films, because yeah, it does what it says it on the tin, and even though the getting revenge on the husband only really comes into it in the last 10 minutes or so of the film, it's still a decent enough, conclusion to this effort overall. So, yeah, well worth watching if you can, tolerate the lackluster special effects. But then if you're not into these kind of films, then you probably wouldn't be able to tolerate them. But if you've seen plenty of these films from this period, then you would no doubt already know what you're getting in for. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching. If you've seen this one before, let's hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.